Hello and welcome to Love Angels Light TV. Tonight we have, do you go by Anna Jane or by AJ? Because I've heard both
Either.
stories.
I like Anna Jane. I don't like Anna on its own.
I heard that. A little birdie told me that, and I went, uh-oh. Hello, Gemma. So we have Anna Jane, and Anna Jane is here to talk to us all things food and health stuff. And the reason I wanted her here to talk to us is because of the mind-spirit connection and how healthy eating and clean eating can help with our connection to spirit. So I thought it was really important to have you here. So thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. My pleasure. All right, so guys, tonight, just so you know, we're talking food, we're talking diets, we're talking anything related to food. And next week we have 2 Love Angels Light TV nights from June, Thursdays and Fridays. We will be live with various guests throughout the month. I have 1 spot left to book up for June. So that's a bit exciting. All right. AJ, can you please tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Okay, so I'm somebody who is absolutely obsessed with food, and I'm obsessed with what food can do in your life and how food can make you feel better emotionally, how it can make you feel better physically, and how you can use food to live very well and at the same time save you money, because a lot of you out there will be spending a lot on food. And I always hear from people that, you know, they don't know why it costs so much to live. And I think the answer is that if you buy a lot of food that is completely, processed, it's going to cost you more. And nutritionally, it will absolutely deprive you. So how did I get into food? I've always loved food. I'm from the country, and we have always had the best produce. And it's been cooked simply, but it's good produce, cooked simply, and no additives, no preservatives, nothing like that, nothing artificial. So when you eat like that, you can't help but be a lot healthier. So that's the way I grew up. And I've had a very big corporate life. I've always had nice, pretty high-flying jobs. And I was between jobs, and I'd taken a sabbatical, and I was writing a book, and I'd finished that. And an ad came on TV, and it said, "Can you cook?" And I thought, yes, I can. And it said, "Can you do it every day?" And I thought, yes, I can. So anyway, there was this ad for this new show, and the new show was called MasterChef. So I just put in my application, and they said, "What have you cooked in the last 7 days?" And I'd cooked tagines, and I'd cooked, a whole lot of things from all around the world. And I think that was in September or something. And in January, I got a call, and they said, "We'd like you to come and audition." So I said, "Oh, okay." And at that time, what you have to realize is there was no cooking show on TV that was like MasterChef. So I had no idea. It was nothing to do with the food. It was all about, who you were, whether you fit a certain type that they wanted on the show. So anyway, when they said they wanted me to apply, to go in and audition, I thought, oh, wow, I'm special. But when I got there, I was one of 7,000 or something. But I am proud to say that I got in first go. Like, they tasted it and went, "Yep, you're in." So that started my feelings that I could actually make a living in food. And Matt Preston actually asked me for my recipes. And then I thought, oh, hello, I've got something here. So that's what I did, and that's what I've done till now. I make food. I've got an award-winning product. I moved out of Sydney, so I'm just ramping up again. So if we meet another time, I'll be able to give you a page where you can go and look at what I do, and you can easily, order. I've got an extraordinary palate. That's what I do. So I have the ability to taste and balance flavors like most people can't. And I know it's a gift, and I'm happy to use it, and I use it every day. So what I'd say to you is, if you have questions, ask them. If I know the answer, I'll tell you. If I don't know the answer, I'll find out and get back to you.
Perfect. So tell me, how does food help you relax your spirit?
Oh my God, food is my therapy. What will happen is, if I've had an extremely stressful time, I can go into the kitchen and I can create something, and it just calms me down. And it's a real leveler. And food is a leveler for everyone, We're all the same when we cook. And it's something that you have to use your mind in. You have to concentrate when you're doing it. And so it's good for your mind and your soul and your spirit, really. Particularly if you cook with love. If you don't cook with love and you do it because you just have to cook, nothing will ever taste that great.
My husband thinks I do all right.
Yeah, but you enjoy cooking.
I do, but I was brought up in the kitchen, so it's a bit different. Yeah. So if we've got people here who, I know we've chatted about, different dietary needs and that in our chats leading up to this. So what do you recommend with people who have extra special food requirements? Like, we've got allergies in our house, but also things like
I'm in fact gluten intolerant. So I am not celiac, but I am gluten intolerant. So my recommendation would be to anybody who has any intolerance to food, I would recommend that what you do is that you cook everything from scratch. If you don't buy food that is processed, you'll have no allergy problems, because you know exactly what is in your food, how it's made, and it will solve a lot of problems. I know that some people think it's a little bit more effort, but the result is so much more valuable to you than anything else, and your health will be amazing. I'm 61, and I went to my doctor, as you do at my age, and I said, you'd better give me a full blood workup and tell me, because I'm not underweight, shall I say. And I thought he'd say, oh, your blood sugars are out and this, and you're going to have to do this. So he said, right. And I said, well, give me the bad news. And he said, you're a little bit vitamin D deficient. And I know I don't go in the sun a lot, but I've rectified that. I walk every day now. And he said, and I said, right, hit me with the big stuff. And he said, there is no big stuff. It's very clear to me. You cook everything from scratch, and your diet is very balanced. You have no issues with anything. And that is what you can get if you make that little bit extra effort. And you will save money too at the checkout. Because if you shop, hey?
I love this comment. Sorry, Belle. Sorry, not sorry. This was Belle's comment. It's coming up on the screen now.
Well, I don't want to say I'm fat, but I'm certainly not underweight. Now, Belle, the simple fact of the matter is, if you cook everything from scratch and you don't buy processed food, when you get to the checkout, you're not paying any GST, and you're saving yourself 10% at least. And if you make a list of what you want to cook for the week, and, leave yourself a little bit of flexibility, if you make that list and plan sort of meals in a roundabout way, you'll find that you have no wastage, and you've shopped well, you feel good, and on top of that, you'll be healthier, and your pocket will be better as well.
What do you
That's
say
all.
to people who kind of say, I'm in a rut, you know, I only buy the same vegetables. I buy potato and onion and carrots and capsicum, and that's it. That's all I buy. What would you say to them?
Okay, well, I would say to you, I shop seasonally. So whatever's in season is what I buy. And I've just done, for a magazine, I've just done a recipe. And at the moment, Brussels sprouts are in season. So Brussels sprouts, everyone goes, bleh, and they go, bleh, because we're used to our mothers just, you know, cooking them until they're mush. And that is not what a Brussels sprout is. A Brussels sprout is full of omega-3. It's full of vitamins and minerals, and it's actually a delicious thing. And the way to get that happening is the way you cook it. So if you were to get your Brussels sprout, cut off the end, cut it in half, then in a pan, cut up, if you're not vegetarian or something, cut up a couple of rashers of really good bacon and let that render down. So, and that you do that on a low to medium heat. So you let that render down. Then you add some olive oil and butter, because if you add the two together, it doesn't burn. You throw your Brussels sprouts in, and you toss them around, and you'll see that they'll start to brown up, and you think that's a good thing. So what else do? You put in some, put in a bit of onion. Garlic's very important. Chop up some garlic finely and whack that in. And then once you think that it's near being cooked, and I always say to people, taste, taste, taste. So take out that Brussels sprout, taste it. If it feels caramelized on the outside, it's soft but not squashy and it's cooked, great. You throw some pine nuts in, brown them, take everything out, sprinkle over salt, cracked pepper, a good handful of pecorino or Parmesan cheese. You've got a meal there. It's easy.
It actually sounds delicious.
It is. And, you can do things like cure egg yolks, really simple, but you grate those over something like that, and it takes it to a whole other level. Wow. It's just a matter of, you have to want to create something and never be afraid of trying anything, and read. If you like cooking, if you like food, read things. I've got a recipe in Simply Australian magazine this month, and that's a new magazine. If you go to I subscribe, you can subscribe to that. That would be the magazine. So in that, I've got a basic
magazine, AJ.
Pardon me?
So do you mean this magazine?
I do mean that magazine. And if you open it, you'll see a recipe for Fijian curry. Okay, now it's really simple. Yeah, I'm looking at the recipe. Show them the curry. Show them the curry. So it'll show you how you can make a really good curry. A lot of people think that curries, if somebody says spicy, it means hot. It doesn't. Spicy means complex flavors. So there are layers of flavors in things, and that's what that curry has. I think you can subscribe to that and shine your light on I subscribe.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the magic links will appear in my comments at some point, and if they don't, I'll add them. But they're on my phone, not on my computer. So,
but does anyone have any questions? Because I'm good at answering those.
We have one question.
Yes.
And you're going to laugh at who it's from. What's your favourite healthy dessert? I hear you make some killer tarts.
I do make killer tarts, but that wouldn't be the healthy dessert. A good dessert that is really easy is a thing called shrikand, Shrikand. Now, it is an Indian dessert, and it's from a place called Gujarat. And what it is it's basically yogurt with some rose water in it and a little bit of saffron mixed with some sugar in some water, and you put that in it. And then it's got a really lovely flavour and balance. And then you crush up some pistachios and you put that on top, and it looks pink with the green, and it's just easiest dessert you'll ever make. But I do make a killer tart. I know what that particular person is talking about. He has tasted them.
Well, I spoke to you about your gluten-free pastry as well. So, yes. Oh, there you go.
do make, I've nailed pastry for gluten-free because I react fairly I don't react well to pastry because it's gluten. So I had to come up with a way to make great gluten-free pastry. And I've done that. And you've seen the pie. I sent you the video of the pie.
Yes, you did.
So it took some time, but anybody who's gluten-free, this is really important because a lot of people who are gluten-free become obsessed by it. And you shouldn't do that, because if you want to be gluten-free and you're not gluten intolerant, don't do it, because it's not good for your system. If you are gluten intolerant, then be very aware of what you're eating. But unless you're absolutely celiac, do not take gluten out of your diet, because if you do, you lose the enzyme that will break gluten down and you will become extremely intolerant to it. So just be a little bit careful of that. It was a bit of a trend. However, if you feel better if you're not eating gluten, then go that way. But what I always say to people is, I look at any recipe, and if it says, and, you know, I will look at it and think, oh, if I'm gluten-free, what will I do? Find yourself a really good gluten-free flour. I can't give you the name of mine because I get it in 15 kilo lots, but find yourself a good gluten-free flour. Probably Aldi have one, and I would suspect that Woolworths have one. I think White Wings have a very good gluten-free flour. Anyway, get that flour and use it. Use normal recipes and just use that flour. Don't become one of these obsessed people. If you cook from scratch and you're the one cooking, you're never going to have a problem with gluten-free.
That's true.
Well,
that's true.
You know what goes into your own cooking.
That's true. That's exactly true. Belle says, I eat veg and plan mostly, but then hubby is a meat eater and loves takeaway. How to say no? Belle, just say no.
Belle, let him go and get his takeaway, and you cook something for yourself that's more delicious, and he'll soon go away from that.
Yeah.
Because I can give you a... Oh, he's Anglo-Indian. I've got an amazing recipe for an absolutely beautiful... He'd love it. It's a cauliflower, lentil and pea curry, and it's just wonderful. And I've served it up to meat eaters, and because with the cauliflower, cut it in steaks and then grill it so it's quite nutty, and then you know, put your lentils in a pan, and then when they're softening, put in coconut cream, put in the coconut, put in the cauliflower, then add some peas, let it simmer. It's a really good recipe. I can easily find that and give it to you to post. But if you cook something like that, and learn how to make roti. If your husband's Anglo-Indian, he'll love roti or roti, and it is just too easy to make.
There you go.
Well, if he loves your food, then go for it, is what I'd say.
Absolutely. All right, so if we're saving money when we're shopping, we're buying fruits and veggies that are in season.
Yeah.
What about meat?
Meat is a funny thing. A lot of people go on about organic this, organic that. You can have an organic chicken that lives in a cage. Be very careful about going down that route. What you want to do is you want to be buying meat that has lived a good life and had one bad day. You want to be eating meat that is of nice quality, because what your animal consumes is ultimately what you will consume. So you can go for a free range. I'll be honest with you, I get a lot of my meat and poultry direct from the grower. If you have markets where you've got local growers who go there, go there. If you buy really good protein, like really good chicken, really good, you don't eat as much because when you're getting the actual animal. Quite often when you buy commercially produced chicken or pork, or it's infused, so it pumps up, so it looks plump. It's got a lot of water in it, and so you probably eat more than you would a really, really good piece of protein.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, so go to your markets, buy and the one that go to your butchers, but do not be afraid to say to your butcher, where did this meat come from? If he can't tell you, he's not a good butcher. Move on to the next one. What I will tell you is if you're going to a supermarket, I have found that in Aldi, their free range chicken and their lamb is very, very good. Their lamb is as good as I was getting direct from the grower. It's very
there
good.
you go. I think you told me that the other day.
Yeah, I was quite fascinated about that because I thought I was pretty special getting stuff delivered from the producer. But in fact, it was very, very good lamb. The other thing that they do there is they will never buy their cut meat, like their steaks or anything, because they don't really cut them straight. It's not ideal. But they will do things like they will do an eye fillet that's untrimmed. They'll do it for the price of what you'd pay for sort of, a much lower quality meat. They'll do it because it's untrimmed. They'll do it at that price, but you're buying the whole fillet. So you need to trim the sinew off and tie it up. But if you can do that, and it's not difficult, just go online and have a look. You'll get amazing. Look for the specials. Look for what's in season. Whatever is cheap in vegetables is what's in season. If oranges, for instance, and citrus are more of a wintry fruit, with lemons, you get them twice a year here, so we're very lucky. But look at the pricing. If the pricing is up, they're out of season. Make sure that you're buying Australian produce. We don't need to buy imported. We've got a lot here. But except the fact that, there'll be periods when you can't get things. Like now, it's rare to get a good tomato because we're going into cold season.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Point is where to find out what is in season is what Belle's saying.
Easy. I'm not sure what state you're in, but if you go to there will be, you're in Sydney, go to Flemington. Flemington markets, you don't have to go to the market, but go on there. They'll have a list of what's in season. And you'll get in Australia, because we're so big, you'll get different things in season at different times. But now's your brassica season, so your Brussels sprouts and your cabbages and those sorts of things.
They're in my garden.
Oh,
we're going to pick our first parsnip on the weekend.
Yeah.
We've got no, not parsnip, it's a radish. It's a long white radish. It's Asian style one.
Which one?
That's about it's a white radish. It's a long one. So
it's great. It'll be great.
I can't wait.
Yeah, nice.
With a lot of the radishes and pretty much any of the really fresh vegetables that we ever get, sometimes we'll just cut it up and eat it with fresh hummus that I'd make. So
absolutely. Yeah. And by the way, good point. Anybody who doesn't make their own hummus or baba ganoush or any of those things, crazy. Too easy. The taste, once you've had your own homemade stuff, you'll never buy it again. And it has no additives. And it's good for you.
Yes.
I do baba ganoush a lot, and I had an exploding eggplant on the barbecue the other week, and I was on the phone to someone. I just completely forgotten that I put it there, because with baba ganoush you have to really burn the crap out of the eggplant, really, until it collapses, and then you put it in a bowl and you cover it with plastic, and then you take off the burnt bit, take the flesh, mash it up, put in some salt, some lemon juice, some tahini, and some olive oil, and you mix it up, and it's amazing. So I put this it was a perfect eggplant, because eggplant is in season. There we go. And I put it on the barbecue, and I was on the phone and I heard this boom, and I thought, oh, what's that? And I said, oh my God, hang on. And I went out. It had completely exploded. So note, always put a couple of little pricks in the top of the eggplant.
That's pretty funny. All right, we have a question from Kylie. Kylie says, okay, ladies, I have several health issues, from hemochromatosis, fatigue, Graves' disease, chronic fatigue, blah, 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 blah. What should I be consuming to boost energy and reduce pain so I can function properly to lose weight?
All right, Kylie, the question is, what are you eating now? To be perfectly honest, are you cooking everything from scratch? And are you being careful about what you eat and where you buy it? Because whenever we buy, if you've got somebody with a lemon tree, get the lemons from that tree. If you can get fresh produce, get it. Because when you buy lemons, apples, anything from a supermarket, you will find that they are waxed. And you don't want to eat the wax, so you need to put it under warm water so the wax will come off. So what I would say to you is this. It's very bad luck to be having all those issues, and you need to, well, you don't look like you are not underweight to me. You look like you're perfectly a good weight in that picture that you've got up there. So what I'd say to you is you need to, balance is everything. So there's nothing that you can't have, really. There are certain, I do a little bit of research. If you've got arthritis, then you probably need to go for things that are anti-inflammatory. You need to eat those. If you have chronic fatigue, you make sure you're drinking enough water. Make sure that you are eating everything is what you have made. Don't eat your breads and your processed pastas. Don't eat any of, don't eat your whites. So don't eat your pasta, don't eat your bread. Just go onto a really healthy diet. If you want carbohydrates, we all need them. Go to complex carbohydrates. Go for kumara and potato and things like that. Stay away from your rices and things that are high carbohydrate. Because even I find I'm sensitive to carbohydrates. So I find that if I go complex carbohydrates, you'll find that it won't affect your weight. And just be careful what you eat. But have a look on the net, find out what's in anti-inflammatory. And I think tomatoes, for instance, wouldn't be good for you. But they're not in season now anyway. But have a bit of a look around and a read up on what, okay, so you don't eat during the day. Well, funnily enough, I have just started intermittent fasting. So this is what I'm doing, and I've lost 3 kilos this week, which I was very surprised about. But however, I'm walking about 7 or 8 kilometres every morning. But that's because I like to eat. So anyway, what I'm doing is I go for the walk, then I get a large latte with an extra shot. Then I do not have another thing until 3 p.m. And at 3, I decide during the day what it is that I want to eat. And I'm not restricting myself from anything, but I'm being very sensible. So, like last night, I was running late and I had salmon and Aldi. I shop at Aldi because I find it's good. It's good produce and it's well priced. They also portion the salmon. So I know I'm not eating too much, so I get a piece of that. I sear it on the back so that I get a crispy skin, and then I put that on just some mesclun, some mixed salad leaves with some olive oil and some balsamic vinegar and a bit of chopped up red onion and tomatoes and stuff. I've got a great meal. But you need more than that. You need to be having some carbohydrate with that. So you might want to go for some, kumara or potato or something. Just be sensible. But I have that one good meal and I'm pretty good, and the coffee in the morning and I'm good. And that might suit you, because if you don't eat through the day and you usually cook from scratch and you don't eat a lot of takeaway, I would say to you, you've got to cut out the takeaway because you don't know what's in it. And I know from reviewing restaurants and things, if I eat food in restaurants or takeaway, I have a bad reaction because there are all these things that are in it that are all part of professional food prep, and they may not mean anything to them, but if you've got any sort of insensitivity or sensitivity to anything, you'll find that it will mean something to you. And I retain fluid and I just get all yucky. So if you want to get something from outside, make sure that you're getting something with sauces on the side and you're deciding what you put. Be conscious when you're eating. Have a good meal at night, but don't graze during the day, Just I don't eat through the day. I usually cook from scratch and don't eat a lot and I'm very overweight. Right. Well, I'm very overweight, but I've taken up walking. So I'm exercising every day. I'm being very conscious. But I'll tell you something. If I don't drink at least 2 litres of water a day, I don't drop an ounce. So drink the water, cook from scratch, and skip the takeaway. It's not that fabulous anyway. You can always have it later, That's what I'd say, but up to you.
Yeah, she says she's been looking into the fasting, so that may be the thing for her. So that
I'm doing it, and it's bloody fabulous. I'm surprised. I was cynical, but yeah,
not you.
Yes, me.
That's awesome. All right, guys, we probably have time for maybe a couple more questions, if you have them. Otherwise, it's me. I have all the questions.
Do you?
I always have questions. I like talking. I like talking. I don't know if anyone knows that about me, but the whole
something told me you were okay with it.
No, that's it. I'm going to talk to him. Not while I'm live, though. That would be inappropriate. So the food connection, like, people know that, we need to watch what we eat to be healthy, but they don't understand that link between the mind and the health and the food and the spirit and the everything. Like,
I can tell you right now. I can tell you right now, if I don't eat properly, that ad for Dare where, everybody's doing everything backwards. If I'm not conscious about what I'm eating, and if I don't eat well, I'm all over the place and you can't concentrate. You're not giving your brain what it needs. You stress about things that you shouldn't be stressing about. And I think there is a deep, deep connection between what you eat and how you feel within yourself. And the book that was called Chicken Soup for the Soul is true. Food, if you do it well, if you nourish your body, and I'm not talking about mung beans, I'm talking about just eating really sensibly and healthily and eating really cleverly, think about what you really want and think about what you're going to eat. And then make the effort to make it happen. And if you do that, you feel great and you'll have more energy, but you must drink the water as well.
That's right.
Because most of us, quite often, apparently, when I learned this some time ago, quite often when we think we're hungry, or at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you know how people go at 3 o'clock, oh, God, I'm just so tired, I'm this. Quite often it's because we're dehydrated. If you go and have 2 glasses of water, you'll suddenly go, oh, God, I feel fabulous, off I go. So dehydration is quite often mistaken for hunger. Tiredness is quite often dehydration. I don't think we drink enough water.
I always, and most people make fun of me for how much water I drink, but I always have my bottle with me. That's, I think, my 4th for today. That'll be the 2 litres, but I usually drink about
always water, Eileen.
What was that?
Is it always water?
With that, yes. Yeah, with that bottle, yes. I always drink at least 2 to 3 litres of water, and then if I have anything else, I have a giant coffee in the morning, and then I don't usually drink anything except water during the day, and then once my husband gets home, we'll have something else, maybe.
Do you find that if you don't drink the water, you get tired? And do you find that you just...
I feel ill. I feel really unwell if I don't drink enough water.
And the other thing is that the best thing you can do for your skin is drink water.
Yes. Yes. I have questions.
Yes.
Okay, so Lenny says, I'm overweight and have periodic issues with diarrhea. Thanks, Lenny. Recently, I've had to give up all fizzy drinks, also type 2 diabetic. So what would you sort of recommend for Lenny?
Okay, Lenny, if you're type 2 diabetic, chances are that it's lifestyle related. Therefore, you need to give up fizzy drinks because you're just drinking sugar, really. So you need to cut down on your sugar. You need to replace your fizzy drinks with water. With your water, if you want fizzy, get a soda stream. That's right. Make the water soda water, put in a slice of lemon. It's fine. You'll have to adjust because it hasn't got that sweetness, but you'll become just as addicted to that. And try and get in that water. Try and do a little bit of walking. Walking, it's the most disturbing thing for me was I started walking and I was doing, 5, 6, 7, 8 kilometres a morning. And I thought, oh my God, what's happening to me? Because when I didn't do it, I missed it. And I didn't feel good. So what I would say to you is if you're overweight, the bottom line is you've got to lose weight. I know I do. So that's why I'm doing the intermittent fasting, and that's why I'm drinking the water. That's why I'm doing the exercise. It doesn't mean that life is you're losing anything, but if you've had to give up fizzy drinks, that's because of the sugar. Now, with the type 2 diabetes, you're lucky. If that's a recent diagnosis, it means that you have the opportunity probably to reverse that. But to do it, you need to exercise, you need to lose weight. And even if you lost, 5 or 10 kilos and went and had some blood tests, you might be very surprised at what's happened to your blood sugars. You might find that they've gone down a lot. But with type 2 diabetes, unlike the other, this is lifestyle related. So you are in a privileged position because you can make a choice to reverse it and get back on track. And we all do it, Lenny. God, you have days and you go, too hard. I have them. But my father was type 2. I just read that comment. Yeah, well, you need to make it water, Lenny.
That's right.
That's the bottom line. My dad was diabetic and he was also a doctor, type 2 diabetic. And he chose to say to his patients, don't do as I do, do as I say. He died very early. He died at 74. And he should have had another 10 or 15 years in him. So diabetes is a quick way to exit the world, but you absolutely have a choice. You're from the country. I'm from Gundagai originally. What part of the country are you from, Lenny? And all you need to do is get one of the Brita filters to filter your water, and that'll solve that problem.
That's exactly right.
Liking to drink unchlorinated water. So, yeah.
Always filtered my water.
Yeah, I just tend to shove it in, but,
I'm a bit of a princess, though. I'm aware.
Oh, Princess Eileen. But, Lenny, you're lucky that you've been diagnosed because you can fix it.
That's right.
And keep us up to date with what you've learned.
He's in Grenfell Central West.
Yeah, sugar-free fizzy drinks. Yeah. Oh, Grenfell. Okay. I know where that is. Sugar-free drinks that are fizzy are just full of crap anyway. You better just train yourself to love the water. And once you love it, you won't go back to them.
No, that's true. Now, Belle says, I found a deeper connection to spirit when I cut out processed food and eating from the earth. Need to try and make this a common occurrence. See,
yes,
that's why I've
grounding.
Exactly. Thank you, Belle, for saying that, because that's exactly why I wanted you on here tonight, AJ.
Aha. Because cutting out processed food is the key, really.
Yes.
And that's good that Belle recognises that.
That's right. All right. Melanie says, I'd love to know why my cholesterol is high when I eat healthy. I'm a short and what my weight is 55 kilos.
Well, there are a number of types of cholesterol. I would suggest, if you're talking about your bad cholesterol, I would suggest that quite possibly it's a hereditary thing. Talk to your doctor.
Yeah.
Because some cholesterol is diet related and you can control it, but sometimes it's just a hereditary thing.
That's
and
right.
My goodness, I'd kill to be that. I'd kill to be 55 kilos.
I think you might go to jail if you do that, though.
That's true.
Me too. Yes. All right. Lenny says he drank pure rainwater.
Keep doing it.
Yep. When I used to go to visit my grandparents as a kid, they had a rainwater tank because they were in Brisbane somewhere. Yes, but rainwater tanks. The rainwater was always awesome.
Amazing. When you wash your hair in it, your hair's so soft. Yeah, it's just lovely.
Yes. Oh, memories. All right. Anything else? Who's got another question? Most people are saying water is the key. There's a couple of people saying that I look nice tonight. I think that should be.
You do look nice. I was going to say to you, I told you actually, I said to send you a message that you looked really pretty the other day.
Oh,
you were looking very, ethereal.
Oh, look, I just thought I washed my hair and that might have made a difference. What I mean?
Well, I'm sure it did.
2 small children and I work from home, so
No, that's all right.
Thank you, everyone. All right, Natalie would like to know what fruits are best to eat.
Well, fruits, like everything else, you have to be careful about what you eat and when you eat them. With fruits, they've all got different things in them. Bananas are full of potassium, but they're also fairly heavy in carbohydrate. All fruit tends to have a fair bit of sugar in it, so you need to eat it. You need to eat seasonally. Like berries at the moment are crazy, so just get berries and go with those. Go with whatever is in season. And have some fruit because it's really good for you, but don't eat buckets and buckets of it either because of the sugars. So what fruits are best for you are the ones that suit your body. Like if I ate a whack of bananas, it probably wouldn't suit me because I don't process carbohydrates that well, even though I process complex carbohydrates, which is what a banana is. I process that quite well. But eat things like, if you like them, kiwi fruit are great because they're very high in fibre. You know, there's choose one that you like, choose the fruits you like, and go with those, is what I'd say.
I like this. We've got this one. Yeah. Both ladies rocking their looks tonight. And then, okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's hard to.
I got a
I
lovely crowd in here.
mean, I feel healthy and fabulous, but you know, I was 61 last week, so I'm suffering really. I feel a bit old.
Don't
Figs.
feel old. You're gorgeous.
Figs are fabulous. The figs generally go out of season about early this month. If you can get them and they're local, then take them. I'm a big fan of pomegranate. I love pomegranate.
I don't think I've ever eaten a pomegranate.
Go and buy one and eat it. They're just amazing. You can put the seeds in yogurt, and they just give it their little pops in your mouth. Oh, thanks, Melanie. I still feel 30, so it's a bit tragic, really.
No, that's perfect.
So
this is the one I meant to click on, I hope. There we go.
Oh, lemons. We love lemons.
Yeah.
I have an award-winning lemon product, and it's a spiced lemon. Oh, that's the other thing. If you're thinking that food's a bit boring, use spices and use herbs. You know, if at some stage I'll let Eileen know, but I've got a range of spice mixes and stuff which are really good, and you just like with just go to the supermarket and buy it, or your little Asian grocery store or whatever. But if you get there's a spice called sumac, which is a naturally growing thing in Lebanon. Now, if you and it's got a real sort of lemony, zesty smell and taste. So if you put a whole lot of vegetables in a pan and you sprinkle sumac over them, some olive oil, bit of salt, bit of cracked black pepper, bung it in the oven. Fabulous. Really easy. You know?
See, my favourite thing when doing any sort of roasting, if I'm having a roast for dinner, I'll just whack a oven, like a baking dish in the oven just with vegetables as well.
Absolutely.
So everything goes in the oven. I go and do what I need to do, and I come back and dinner's ready.
Well, exactly. And that's the thing. And what always astounds me is people seem to think that cooking is difficult. Cooking is like anything else. It's all about planning. If you plan the meals that you want, it's easy. Like if you get, I'll tell you, this is a really good trick. If you get, and I might do this if we do another show, but I'm going to show you how to break down a chook. Because if you buy a whole chook and cut it up, it's much cheaper than buying chicken pieces. You also get all the flavour of the different bits of the chicken. And, yeah, it's just a really good way to cook. So, look, there are lots of things that I can help people with, and, you know, it's just whether it fits into this area or not. But there is a distinct and very well-defined, very, very well-documented link between what you eat and how well you are, and it's that simple.
I know if I don't eat, I get hangry.
I was hangry at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
I actually read an article the other day because a lot of my my hypnotherapy programs are all around weight loss and around you know, health and wellness stuff. I was reading an article written, I can't remember when, but it was about that hangry feeling actually being scientifically a thing. And I went, oh my God, that's so cool. They induced it in rats in this study, and yeah, poor rats. Poor rats.
I can honestly say to you that if I'm genuinely hungry And there's a big difference between having a little craving and being genuinely hungry. And today, because I only had salad with a slice of, salmon, cooked piece of salmon last night, and I had my coffee this morning, but by about 2:00, my stomach was chatting like there was no business. And I thought, my God, I'm going to die if I don't eat something. So I lasted till about 2:45, I think.
Okay.
But, God help anybody who'd said the wrong thing to me. I would have ripped their head off. So.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Kathy Baker says dragon fruit. What about dragon fruit? I love dragon fruit. I've only had it like twice. But
as I say, any fruit is good fruit. But you can have anything at all in moderation. I'm not sure what the properties of dragon fruit are, but I imagine it's fairly fibrous, so it'd be good for you. And I think really it's about finding the fruit that you like and eating it in moderation. Really? Yeah.
But that's the same with everything.
Yeah, it is.
Having an entire block of chocolate's probably not ideal for you either, but it's delicious.
No, but they say a couple of squares of dark chocolate, like the real, 90% chocolate. Yeah.
Oh, the 90% stuff, no,
too bitter?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Here we go. Higher nutrients. Oh, Daryl, this must be dragon fruit. Higher nutrients share on Pinterest may help fight chronic disease, loaded with fiber, promotes a healthy gut, strengthens your immune system.
Well, if that's dragon fruit, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Magnesium is a great thing to have, so.
True.
Yeah.
Here we go. Melanie, I've never been diagnosed, but I'm sure I have IBS and certain foods I eat cause havoc. That's my life, actually, growing up.
I mean, you have to look at how things affect you. If there's one thing that affects you very badly, don't eat it. If you've got 5 things that affect you very badly and they're different things, you probably need to see a doctor and be diagnosed.
Yes.
I'd say. But if you think you've got IBS, who knows? If you can manage it by the way you eat, then do that. And do some research on IBS. Find out there may be little hacks. But if you have some sort of bowel disorder, or you think you do, you need to get things checked out. I'm a big believer in that.
Definitely.
We're lucky to have such a great health system, so get yourself off there, get yourself checked out.
Very true.
But avoid the foods that cause havoc.
I know when I was having issues in that department, I introduced chia seeds into my diet, and that basically cut out all the problems.
Yep. Psyllium husks are good.
Yeah, see, I was never a fan. I think there's a texture thing with psyllium husks that.
Oh, is there? Look, I don't know.
For me, I'm special. Like.
But what I would say to Melanie is get it checked out, because, we're lucky. I was saying to somebody just a couple of weeks ago, we're terribly lucky to live where we are. We've got great healthcare. And, in this COVID thing, and that's the other thing, coming out of this COVID thing, which we're not going to do for quite some time, I think people are going to sort of go back to basics. I think there's going to be a bit of austerity, and I think people are looking for comfort in things. So I'm going to, in that magazine, Simply Australian, we're going to start a new column, and it's going to be all about sort of recipes from the vault, because, you can do corned beef, but why not do it with something that's delicious instead of clunky, revolting white sauce with parsley through it? Why not do it with an amazing English mustard and vinegar, like a béarnaise sauce, except make it, zesty, so that things that are old and new again, but at the same time, they've got like just a little twist on them.
Yeah. Yeah, which is amazing. I said that to someone the other day, actually. They asked me about something I had cooked, and I went, I blended the tomatoes and I added this and that and the other. They went, why didn't you buy a jar? Like, because I don't know if you've seen the supermarket lately, but there were none.
Yeah, and also you need to read labels. That's the worst thing that anybody ever does, not reading labels. You know what I cooked this past week? I cooked an ox tongue, a cow tongue. It was amazing. Cheapest thing ever.
Yeah, were you cooking that when I talked to you on the phone the other
Yes.
day?
Yeah.
That's right.
So what I did was I cooked it, I peeled it, I pressed it, and then I sliced it finely, and I put it on a horseradish schmear, and then I put a pureed pea on the top of it. And, you know, people go, tongue, ugh, ugh. But when you tasted it, it just tasted like beef.
There you go.
So people could save a lot of money, you know, not worrying about what it's called, but what it actually does and how it actually tastes.
Yeah, definitely. Melanie says, I've had a colonoscopy. It's all good in that area, but I'll take your advice on board.
Well, I'm a big believer, you know, if somebody's an expert in something, then, you know, well, it could be gluten. It could be gluten, Melanie, but you need to have what I do is cut out gluten for a week or two and see if it improves. And if it does, then you might need to see if you're celiac. If you're celiac, it's very different to being gluten intolerant.
True.
If you're gluten intolerant, you need to be very careful about what you eat. If you're celiac, you need to be absolutely obsessive about not having gluten in your diet. But if you aren't celiac and you think it might be gluten and you take that out of your diet, then that's a very bad thing to do if you are not diagnosed, because if you do that, you lose the enzyme, as I said earlier, and you won't be able to break down gluten and you root it from then on. So sort of short-term trends can have very significant implications later.
That's right. If you're celiac, you basically, if you have any gluten in your diet, it can cause massive, massive health problems.
Massive.
And you don't want them.
I have a friend who is celiac, and I test because I'm very good with gluten-free. I pastry, everything. I make these amazing lasagnas and everything's gluten-free. And if I want to test anything, I test it on her, because literally if she walks past a bakery, she'll get sick. So she tests everything and says, if she doesn't get sick, it's good. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Now we've been on for an hour, so I'm going to wrap this up now. I'm very grateful that you came and had a chat with us tonight. Thank you for coming and being here.
Oh, no, it's lovely. Thank you for having me.
I would love to have you on again. And given that comment right there, I don't think I'm the only one.
Well, that's fine, you know, and I think if I come back, you know, tell your friends, get your questions together, and I might even actually on the next one, I might even cook something simple and easy.
Excellent. That would
and we can
awesome.
talk and talk. So if anybody wants to know about something, they can, you know, write into you. And then, Eileen, you can let me know what you think and we can put something together.
Definitely. We will do that. I know I have one spot left in June. As in I'm running, okay, guys, for you guys, I'm running 2 nights a week from next week. So we're running Thursday nights and Friday nights at 8:30 p.m. And out of the entire month of June, I have one spot that hasn't been taken up yet. So
and when would that be?
That would be the 18th of June.
What day of the week is that?
That's a Thursday night.
I can't do the Thursday night. I can do the Friday.
That's okay. I'll slot you in for July, unless I can get someone to swap over, which is possible.
Friday I can do. Thursday I have a standing. I'm the chair of a committee, and we meet every Thursday.
That's okay. I'm not. Yeah, no, that's perfect.
All right.
All right. So thank you very, very much for joining us, AJ.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having me on again. And thank you everyone for your questions, your comments, your interaction, and your sharing and all of the above. We will see you next Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. and we will see you, AJ, next time you're with us.
Okay.
See you later.
Thanks. Bye.